Ooh, y'all. 10 minutes late. Just terrible. Just terrible. Hello, hello, hello. Listen, let me give you this now so y'all can understand. We're going to start here at the very beginning. Are you tired of feeling stuck? Are you tired of feeling unfulfilled? Do you want so badly to have a life filled with purpose and meaning? So, what we're going to do today, what we're going to do tonight, and you'll see why it took me so long to get my behind up on here when you see what I've put together for you. But what we're going to do is we're going to take not that long, and we are not that long tonight, and we are going to identity shift. We're going to look into the whys we feel the way that we do. We're going to rewire our brain tonight. We are going to put into motion our new identity so we can shift out of being stuck and shift into being in motion. And with that, let me play the intro as Gemini walks right past, and we're about to get started. Well, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hello, hello, hello. How are you, LaShanta? Hello, my dear. What a beautiful set of collage of pictures you have for your avatar. I really like that a lot. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'll probably end up doing some minor edits to this so that I can post this as its own standalone video. But there's been a lot going on lately, right? In the world in general. There's a lot going on for those of you who believe in astrological energies and such. There's been a lot going on in the heavens. But what I'm hearing from people all over, all the time, is how things have it feels like everything's falling down around them. I don't know. I mean, is that anybody else? Is anybody here feeling like things are just crumbling down all around? I mean, it just doesn't, it feels like sometimes it feels like it doesn't make any sense. And also it feels like sometimes, let me go over here on X and see who's over here watching us on X. And sometimes I'm going to be very honest with you. It can be so overwhelming for people that they literally are just, it's like, where else do I turn? How else do I, and how do I get to this place? How do I get to a space where I can live? How do I get to a space where I can live? How do I get to a space where I can be? How do I get to a space where I can exist? And it feels like life has just been lifing to a point where it's what's the issue? What's the whole purpose? Why should I continue? So I'm going to start this out today by saying this. You are not under attack. I'm going to say it again because I know some of y'all really don't want to hear it, but I need to tell you that you, beloved, are not under attack. The devil, whomever, whatever you want to say, is not coming around trying to tear your whole life apart. So you might say, well, Lisa, then what the heck is it? And I'm going to tell you what it is. I need to grab something too, because for an exercise, we're going to do in a minute. We have been programmed by our parents. I've been watching a lot of videos lately, just in general. But there was a video, a gentleman said this. He said, when the moment you can recognize and realize that your parents were two hurt children that grew up to be adults, and they were probably very unhealed. They're probably very unhealed. Two children that grew up to be two hurt adults that had childhood wounds, and then they made a baby, you, and they may have made some siblings too, and that you are now the product of two hurt people who didn't heal, and then put that hurt onto you. If you can start from that perspective and understand how and in under what circumstances you were raised, we can begin from an authentic place. You are not under attack. What you are is the product of two hurt people that then put their hurt and pain and whatnot onto you. And what you are doing is you are living out their pain in your lifetime. And it's not even your pain to manage. It's not your pain. It's not your problem. Okay? It's not your pain. It's not your problem. That is not an easy thing for anyone to hear. But it is a very necessary one for us to all understand. So we're going to start there. We're going to start at the location of this is where we have been living and how we grew up. Okay? This is where I want to start. And the reason why I want to start there, I'm literally posting something right now. The reason why I want to start there is because if we can start from the place of pain, if we can start from the place of issue, if we can start from the place of problem, if we can start from the place of this wasn't our pain in the first darn place, we can start from there, then we can start with an authentic area of healing. Because the minute you keep putting it outside of you, that the devil is doing this is a demonic attack, somebody to put roots on me, somebody's speaking a spell over me, somebody's doing this, somebody's doing that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that somebody couldn't have put roots on you, but the likelihood that somebody's going to know how to put roots on you and do it successfully and it not backfire on them, even in this day and age, is pretty slim to none, because we got a lot of Dollar Tree root workers. And I'm not saying no, I'm not speaking no, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be funny. But we have a lot of people that, feel like that they, because they read this book or they saw this YouTube video or this Instagram reel or whatnot, so on and so forth, then now all of a sudden they're a root worker, they're, voodoo, hoodoo, whatever, extraordinary. And that's just not, y'all playing with fire if that's what y'all are doing. I'm leaving that. That's for a different discussion for a different day. That's a different discussion for a different day. But what I will tell you is this. The likelihood that it is an external force is pretty slim to none. It's pretty slim to none. Why is that? Because you actually, beloveds, create your own reality. And you've been creating your own reality. we've talked about this many, 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 many times. Now I'm fully here. Many, many, many times before on this channel, on Instagram, TikTok. We've talked about it a lot over the time. And we're going to start talking about it more on X. Hopefully they'll want to talk about it. I want them to talk about it with me. But one of the problems with that we encounter once we are engaged in a religious structure that is based on fear rather than based on love. Because let's be very honest. I'm just going to speak for at least Christianity and probably all the Abrahamic religions. It's based on fear. It's based on you following Jesus and you accepting Jesus. I would stop focus on Christianity as your Lord and Savior. Is based on the fact that you don't want to go to hell. Because if it was truly based on just an absolute, abject, undeniable love, then the consequence of not doing that would not be to go to hell. Is the consequence of anything that when you didn't do something as a child, was the consequence every time corporal punishment? Even in my very dysfunctional, very abusive, very violent household, the consequence every time was not corporal punishment. The consequence every time was not, death and destruction and eternal damnation. So I just have a hard time that most Christians don't come because of love. And really, I'm not gonna go there today. Let me shift back where I was at. Let me stay on task. Because we're here to talk about an identity shift. We're here to talk about rewiring your brain. We're here to talk about releasing limiting beliefs from your past. And what I'm trying to inform you of is that there's so much trauma in the past. There's so much childhood. There was such a trauma dump in the past. There was such a pain dump in your past, in your childhood. Hey, Jace. There's such a pain dump, a trauma dump, a hurt dump, a generational issue, disbelief, non-belief in self dump. And then for a lot of us, as a result of some form of religious belief, however we were living, whatever our personage isn't good enough. So then nothing we did is good enough. Nothing we do is good enough. And even if this wasn't religious based, I'm going to guess that most of you all listening to me under the sound of my voice, that there's some situation where for the majority of your life, you weren't good enough, majority of your childhood, and probably now into your adulthood. You're probably the child that was always, well, you could do better. I expect more out of you. You're probably the child that, your sibling could get away with bloody murder, do the bare minimum. Not even the bare minimum. Baby, he or she didn't do hardly nothing. Nothing. And they could screw up, mess up, land their tail in jail. I don't care what happened. But baby, the sun rose and set in that one. They could do no wrong. It was, well, you understand, he or she didn't have this. So you have to understand he or she didn't have, they're not as smart as you. They're not as independent as you. They're not as this to you. They're not as that. For whatever reason, everything you did wasn't good enough. And everything they did was just fine. Then there's other belief systems. There's other things where it's like, okay, well, nobody really ever gets out of this neighborhood. And if you do, you're uppity. Or no matter what level of success you attain, it's just, oh, well, I hope you keep it. Does anybody else have parents or grandparents or aunties or whatever? Oh, well, I hope don't nothing happen, I hope you keep that good job so you can hold on to that house. Or I hope can keep that man or that woman happy. You keep your family together because it'll be hard out here. The devil is busy. I know at times it's hard. You just got to hold on. But what does this do to you over a period of time? Do you know what this does to you over a period? It trains you to think the negative and death and destruction first before it trains you to think the positive. You, beloved, not because of your own choices, not because of your own issues, not because of anything to do with you, you have had implanted within you a series of limiting beliefs that are so ingrained now within your brain and your being that every time something gets ready to occur, the first thing you think is death and destruction. Also, a lot of you, most of you, I'll even raise my own hand over here, probably honestly please everybody else and do for everybody else long before you do for yourself. And so some of us might not even really know who the heck we are. Some of us might have such limiting beliefs and need our brain rewired so much so that we're not even sure what that new identity work looks like. But that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, we're going to talk about some things. We're going to talk about a concept called neuroplasticity. So I'm going to give you the science. This isn't just going to be a bunch of woo, 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 woo stuff. But I'm going to give you the science behind the woo. Because if I can give you the science behind the woo, you can apply that. Because for some of you all, you're not going to want to hear the metaphysical part of things, right? You're going to be like, well, that's heresy. So I'm going to give you the science. Because this is proven. And then we're going to rewire our brains. And I'm not saying that you should in any way, shape, form, or fashion not love your parents, not honor your parents, but I need you to understand that those children that grew up to be an adult and then bore children themselves, you no longer have to hold on to their shit. Yes, I said I probably should have bleeped it out, but I didn't. You don't have to hold on to that anymore. That don't belong to you. That was never yours. That was put in front of you so that you could learn. That's why that was put in front of you. There was a lesson to learn, and hopefully you're able to teach them and show them a better way. But if they don't want to see that better way, honey, it's not your responsibility. This is their life. That's their life. This is your life. They don't get to live their lives vicariously through you. And guess what? You don't have to live your life based on what their pitfalls, downfalls, and issues were. I'm going to go and light this here candle because it's getting good around here. And I want to have me a little, I'm burning a, where did I get this from? I think this is Bed Bath & Beyond, a eucalyptus mint. I really love that. It's refreshing and that'll keep me up. Okay, here we go. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to learn a little bit here? So we're going to talk about the limiting beliefs. Listen, I didn't say I was going to go easy on you tonight. Y'all, I'm sorry, not sorry. I got to give it to you. Because if I don't give it to you real and raw, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. Okay, so what I did, the reason why I was a little late tonight, y'all, is I sat here and I did what I normally do, which is I created a slide presentation for y'all. I created a slide presentation for y'all. So here we go. All right, understanding limiting beliefs. We're going to rewire your brain and release the past. So first of all, what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are deeply learned thought loops. This is why I gave you that whole intro. The I'm not good enough. I can't succeed. What are some of the other ones? I'm not going to get love. I don't deserve love. And here come my grandbabies. I don't deserve love. Everything I do, I'm not enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. All of those are wired loops that have been wired into our brains from different, they didn't even have to be said, but from different experiences we had primarily while growing up. Primarily while growing up. And what happened is those things get ingrained and then they replay and replay and replay. Now, when I go through, we do like inner child work and we do generational work and we do narcissistic abuse work, because a lot of times, a lot of our parents are or were narcissists as well, or maybe you've had subsequent relationships with people that are narcissists. But I'm going to tell you, usually when you have those relationships, you have a parent that's a narcissist as well. I'm just one or both, or there's somebody significant in your life that does. So that is or was. So this is the thing. Those loops play over and over and over again because they were subtly ingrained into our belief system. So when we do this inner child work, what we do is we look for we pinpoint one of the feelings, and then we begin to go backwards and remember the first time, or as far back as we can go, or a significant time that this has happened to us. Where did that feeling come from? And believe it or not, the I'm not good enough, I can't succeed, I'm not lovable, I'm not this, I'm not that, it's actually formed by the brain's survival bias. How is that? What is that? Doesn't make any sense. I have to tell my grandbaby to give me 30 minutes. So we got 30 minutes. The brain survival bias is this. So because we don't want to get hurt over and over again, right? So if our mother or our father or somebody shows great disappointment in us, we just want to make them happy. And so we don't want that pain, right? So what we do is we have this, we formulate this belief system so that we can hide behind it and not have an expectation of something good for us to happen. So it actually serves as a protector. Because if you never, in a weird way, if you never look for it, then you never expect it. And if you never expect it, you can't get hurt. But they are self-defeating and self-sabotaging. So the impact of all this on our self-esteem, our confidence, and our overall well-being is highly detrimental and causes these limiting beliefs. So it causes us to believe we can never get beyond this belief system. Now, hopefully this is good to y'all. If it's good, I need some likes. I need y'all to let everybody know that we're here. I need you to invite people to this live. We want this to get out. I want people to hear this, see this, get this understanding. Now, at the age that you are, these are now outdated, but they're still running around in the background. You're here because you want to shift your identity. You're here because now I could tell you, if everything's falling apart all around you right now, do you know why? Because that's your new identity that's been trying to get through to this current timeline, and that new identity can no longer coexist with the identity that you've had up until now. So now is your opportunity to make a decision. Are you shifting or are you staying? You're coming or you're going? Do you see what I'm saying? We are forced with a decision right now. And now I shouldn't have used the word forced, but we are being presented with the decision that needs to be made. and the decision is completely up to you. But it is your decision. I'm empowering you. You need to empower yourself to make the decision. You don't have to keep running these outdated belief systems. They're not serving you anymore. And we're going to determine which if there's a belief system that if there's a pattern that you all have seen over and over and over again, if there's a pattern you've seen in your life over and over and over again, and you're like, I'm really tired of this. I'm just tired. And I'm tired of being tired. And I want something different. Then that's your true identity wanting to come through. You finally decided that we don't need to believe everything that mom and daddy and them said. It doesn't belong to you. This is not the devil. This is not this. This ain't demons running around. This ain't no attack. You are not under attack. You know who you're under attack by spiritually? Yourself. Now I want you to sit with that for a second. Do you know who you're under spiritual attack by? Yourself. You are attacking yourself. Why? Because you're letting this stuff run around in the background. Because every time you open your mouth, every time you have a thought, every time you have a gut feeling, it's not positive. It's not that your life is going to be any better. It's that the other shoe is going to drop. Hello? I'm not telling y'all anything that I didn't have to realize myself. And I'm not telling y'all anything that sometimes I got to remember all over again. Because when certain things, even though it might have taken a long time to replay, but I'm seeing it again, honey, I'm like, oh, no. See, I know this cycle. I know where this one ends, and I don't like that. So now why is this coming back up? Why is this a cycle again? Some of y'all are running on such fast loops that you can't even catch your breath before the next one hit. Let's move on. Otherwise, you're going to be here all night. Why does it matter that we identify these limiting beliefs? This negative self-talk elevates stress hormones. If y'all been trying to lose weight, but you've been unsuccessful, but you've been under so much stress hormones hold on to cortisol and they hold on to fat. Stress hormones will cause heart disease. Stress hormones will cause diabetes, insulin resistance. Stress hormones will cause migraines. Stress hormones will can cause myocarditis. Stress hormones, now that's allegedly, but this is some of the things that we've seen. So before YouTube, you strike me for anything, don't be striking me. This is according to these are things that stress hormones cause. This is common knowledge. Allegedly. For God's sake. Go look up what stress hormones can cause for you. Physiologically. You can't lose weight because you can't sleep. You can't sleep because you're under too much stress. And when you're under stress for too long, that can end up slipping you into a depression. So why else should we be taking care of this? It lowers your confidence and then it dims your purpose. If I was to ask some of y'all right now, what is your purpose in life? If I was to ask some of y'all right straight now, what is your purpose in life? So hang on one second. I'm sorry, somebody's texting me. It dims your purpose. It dims your confidence. It removes that. If I were to ask you guys right now what your life purpose is, you'd be like, what? I don't know. Or you'd recite to me what was told to you when you were a child. Or you'd give me some very generalized, I'm here to help humanity. you would not understand who you really are. And here's a key truth. If the beliefs are learned, they can be unlearned. If beliefs are learned, they can be unlearned. Okay? I'm going to say that one more time. If beliefs are learned, they can be unlearned. And while we're here tonight, we're going to unlearn it. This is where we get into this neuroplasticity. You can actually rewire your brain, beloveds, so that it changes the pathway upon which the same information is viewed, reviewed, and processed. And so what we're going to do is we're going to rewire our brains and step into the new identity and now walk through life in the new identity rather than the old one that will repeat these cycles over and over and over again. Does that make sense? We're going to unlearn and then relearn. We're going to unlearn and then we're going to relearn. Neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. So the brain rewires itself. This is your reset button. The brain rewires itself through practice and awareness. So what does that mean? So do you know how you learned your multiplication tables? Most of us. They don't teach these kids this today. I'm gonna keep it a buck. They don't teach these kids this today. My oldest granddaughter, they didn't have her memorize her multiplication tables or her division tables. We had to do that like by third grade. I feel like by no later than fourth grade, but I feel like by third grade we had those multiplication tables memorized. Definitely by fourth grade. And how did we learn? Practice, 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 practice. Did some of y'all have flashcards, or am I just of that age in Generation X? Did some of y'all have flashcards? Okay. So my mama would bring out the flashcards, and we knew what time that was. That meant we was practicing our multiplication and our division and our addition and subtraction when we were younger. We had all of them for the flashcards. Now, by the time, in school, they were teaching it to us in third grade. But by the time I was first, second grade, I already knew my multiplication and division tables. I knew them all. Because Mama did those flashcards for a certain amount of time every day. That was practice. We practiced handwriting. We practiced our reading. We would read out loud. Mama would teach us how to read with inflection, so that it didn't sound like a monotonous, nah, 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 wah, 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 wah. So when the brain becomes aware of something, and then you practice that something over and over and over again. Yeah, ours were too. By the fifth grade, they was gone. But I'm having to use them with my grandbaby so she could learn. And she in the fifth grade. Anyway. Every time you practice something over and over again and you put it back up to your awareness, okay, do you know what happens at that point? Then there's a neural pathway that is, it's just like a path, like if you're walking in the woods, you keep walking and walking and walking, or you walk along the grass, you keep walking, and what would people in the neighborhood say? You can't stop cutting through my grass before you wear a path in my lawn. Think of your brain as the lawn. You're wearing a path through it. But your mama and them done already wore that path down. So now you know what we got to do? We got to find us a new path, because this path takes us in a bad space. We don't want this path anymore. Now we're going to rewire it. And believe it or not, your brain has the capacity to do this a lot easier than a lot of people think. Through practice and awareness, new pathways form when you replace your old stories. There's something called memory regeneration. And what we do when we utilize memory regeneration, when we're doing inner child generational or narcissistic abuse work, When we do that memory regeneration, we go back to the memory, but this time we don't go just as a child that can't do anything. We bring a team with us. We bring our adult self. We bring in, if it's angels, if it whoever your team is, we bring the team. And then we redo that memory. We interact with that memory, not from a place of disempowerment, but from a place of empowerment. And we start to rewire neural pathways so that if somebody goes to screaming and hollering at you and calling you everything but a child of God, and your normal reaction is to kind of shrink a little bit on the inside instead of standing up for yourself in a loving way and saying, I'm not understanding what you're yelling at me. Can you please explain this to me? We can calm down. You don't need to yell. What's happening? But you just kind of let it happen because that's how you've been trained. When we rewire the pathway, now you know what happens now? Now you approach it differently. Now you're empowered. Now you know that you don't need to retreat to that childhood level interaction. You can interact as a sovereign adult, as an adult with autonomy, authority, and sovereignty, not as a child. Do y'all see the difference? So, and I use a lot also are meditation and journaling, because that does accelerate the process. And that's what we're going to do tonight. So while I have y'all here, while I'm still talking, go grab yourself a piece of paper or whatnot and a pen or a pencil or a crayon. I don't care. But grab yourself something because we're going to get to work. Now, what I'm going to do, let me know when y'all got that pen and that paper. Let me know when you got the pen and the paper. And while you're grabbing the pen and the paper, I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to put the link in the chats. This link is also down in the description on the YouTube video. But I need to drop it in the chats. It's over on X now. If you guys want to have a consultation, if you're ready to begin to start healing from this hurt, and you want to do that, right? You're ready to do that. Then I want you to click on that link either here or down below in the chat. I'm going to pin this message, and we're going to have a consultation. I'm not going to tell you for sure that that's what we're going to do, but we're going to have a consultation to see if you would be a good candidate to go through the inner child narcissistic abuse or generational healing sessions. I've reopened that. I used to do them all the time. Can I hide this, please? What's going on? This is weird. Oh, I know why. Because it's a banner. I've reopened this. I'm starting to do my spiritual life coaching again. I've been missing it. And I know that it's part of who I am. So we're starting to walk in that again, okay? All right. All right, here we go. So do you guys have your pen and your paper? All right, here we go. So what I want you to do is I want you guys to take a deep breath with me. In through your nose. Hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. We're going to do it again. I know you weren't ready for that. Inhale through your nose. We're going to hold it for 4. So inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Let's do it again. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Now, why did I have you do that? Because I wanted to get your energy field clear. Now, what I want you to do is write down, I want you to not think about anything that you know right now. Like, don't worry about what's going on in your life today. I want you to clear that. And if you need to do another cleansing breath to do that, then do that. But I want us to tap into our deepest desires and our deepest aspirations. I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. And I want you to imagine yourself living your absolute best life. I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. And I want you to imagine living your absolute best life. I don't want you to hold back. I want you to focus on any sensation that comes up in your visualization. The clothes that you're wearing, I want you to focus on where you're living. What is the atmosphere? What is the setting that you're in? If you can see in the refrigerator what kind of food you're eating, or if maybe you're on a cruise ship or something like that and you just want to cruise the world all the time. I don't know what it is you want to do. But whatever it is, I want you to really get a clear image of where you are and what you're doing. Down to the smells and the sounds if you can. And then, next, I want you to understand what you're earning, your finances, all of this. What's going on? What are you doing for a living? Do you have your own business? Do you not? What are you doing? What are you doing for a living? How are you living life? Don't hold back. Focus on the aspects of your life that bring you joy, that bring you fulfillment, and bring you purpose. I want you to allow your imagination to run wild. And when you have that in your mind's eye, and you can see it and you know it beyond a shadow of a doubt, now I want you to put pen to paper and I want you to write it down. And I want you to write it down in the present tense, the I am tense. I am dot 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 comma dot 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 comma dot dot. I want you to write it all down. Your absolute best life. Focusing on the aspects of that life that bring you joy, fulfillment, and purpose. I want you to write it down. Okay? Can you do that for me? Can you write it down? And we're going to give you a few minutes to write that down. While you're writing it down, also down below, if you want to learn how to do this type of coaching, or if you have another type of educational transformational coaching you wish to do, visit aicoachbill.com. At the beginning of August, I'm holding 2 different sessions where we're going to build your entire business in a weekend. From your niche to your offer to your branding and to your first funnel or landing page, lead magnet, and also your social media content for my VIPers. So aicoachbill.com. You guys have it written down? Okay, good. Because you know what we're going to do now? I want you to hold on to that. I want you to see this. I want you to have it in your hands or rub on it or whatever you need to do. And I want you to speak it to yourself. Now, if you got people around you, you're just like, Lisa, I can't do that. Then whisper it to yourself. But I'm going to give you a couple minutes to whisper to yourself right now. Let me see if I got some music. Okay. That's not going to be it. Hang on, guys. Ooh, why do I not have any just nice little music? There we go. I want you to read it to yourself. Then once you've read it to yourself, I want you to let it drop down into your heart, please. Let it go from your mind down past through your throat because you spoke it already, so your ears have heard it. So now what's going to happen is the mind says, oh, yeah, I guess I'm bringing this to her. I guess I'm bringing this to him. I guess this is what they want. This is what they want. So, but I need you to let it drop down into your heart too. So it's in your mind, but we need to let it drop down in your heart. And then I'm going to speak over this, and I'm going to speak this over you. I want you to say it right now one more time. Speak out your declaration of who it is that you wish to be, who it is that is your absolute best life, the identity is you're shifting to. And as you're writing that down, I'm speaking this in the concert with the agreement of all that are in the heavens above. All the angels, all the guides, all the ancestors, everyone. And we together speak over your new identity, your identity that you're shifting to, your identity that you shifted into, and now we're going to walk in it, that we see it, we believe it, and we hold space for you to walk in it. We see it, we believe it, and we hold space for you to walk in it. And as I speak that, I'm going to say it one more time because I need to say it in threes. We see it, your life, your new identity, your life, your identity shift, your best life, your absolute best life, your highest good. We see it, we believe it. So we are adding our belief to you and yours. We're adding our faith. We're adding our creation energy. All of heaven and earth is adding its creation energy to yours. We as the collective believe it, and we hold space for it. We are presenting you with a quantum space of creation. We are presenting you with the construct within which you will create that which you desire and is of your highest good. And now, what I want you to say, beloved, is this: I receive it, I believe it, I have it. I receive it, I believe it, I have it. Now, what I want us to do now is I just want us to just take a moment, just close our eyes if we can. And I want you to release anything that is fighting that identity. Any energy right now that is popping up right now for you that is fighting and saying, you can't have that, I want you to release it right now. I want you to say, no, I see it, I receive it, I have it. That is a false energy. That is a false memory. That is a false belief. And I release it and I transmute it into power. So instead of I can't, I have already done. I am. Instead of the other shoe always drops, you know this can't happen. I don't need that anymore. That it's not serving me. Thank you for your protection. I no longer require your services. Not only can I possess this, I already do. Do you understand what I'm saying, beloveds? So I want you to just begin to release this. And this is really good right now because we're doing this like right before a new moon. We're doing this at the changing of the guard here. We're doing this in a season where self-identity, and not just self-identity, but the identity we have out in the world is on display in this season. Release all of that. I'm giving you time to release, to continue to release. Greetings, Jody. JD, greetings, Jamie loves. Beautiful sister. Hey, that ninja. Release, keep releasing, keep releasing. There's some more that's got to be released. I don't want you to judge these feelings, these emotions. We're not going to worry about where these beliefs came from at this moment. We'll deal with that another time. But right now, I just need you to release them and say, you're not serving me. You're not serving me any longer. You're not serving me. I thank you for your service. You protected me as long as was necessary, but it's no longer necessary. Now, if you need to grab yourself a Kleenex because this is rough, I understand. I actually moved through these. We moved right through these, didn't we? I just had you write it all down. Let me keep going. Do you feel that shift, or do you own it? This is no longer just something that you just kind of have, or maybe it's off in the future. I want you to internalize it and own it. You need to internalize it and own it. You need to internalize it and own it. Because The longer it stays out here somewhere in the deep, and it's not yours. This is why you have to stop externalizing why something is not working in your life. It's not working in your life because you don't see yourself as a person that works for. That's why it's not working. There's no other reason. Because whatever your mind, right? Whatever you believe, you shall receive. You create your world. Do y'all know what I did today? And then we're going to start about journaling. So the journaling aspect of this, I'm not going to be much longer tonight. The journaling aspect of this is very important because you need to continue to list beliefs and any related feelings. So when you all click the link that's in the description box below or in the pinned comment above, and you schedule your inner child healing consultation with me, narcissistic abuse healing or generational healing consultation with me, I'm opening back up my practice, my spiritual life coaching practice. I've been doing a lot of other things, but I got to get back to this now too as well. I need to make time for it, right? But when you begin to identify these things, beloved, what begins to happen, right? What begins to happen is that you see them, and then you begin to see them for what they are, and then you say, well, why am I holding on to this? And you can identify and examine it and say, well, is this even true? Is this even true? Because if it's not true, why am I believing it? It's not true that you were not meant to have a life that's full of peace and harmony. That's not true. It's not true that you weren't meant to have stability in your life, that you don't deserve it, or that's not part of what your deal is. That's not true. It's not true that you weren't meant to have a life that is financially stable. That's not true. It's not true that you have to step up to the plate and you still have to be everybody's doormat and they can walk all over you. That's not true. None of that's true. So why are you holding on to it? You see, we keep externalizing. We externalize the blessings and we also externalize curses, if you will. We externalize the good and we externalize the bad, when at the end of the day, first of all, it's all just energy. And second of all, you create. Now, you are a co-creator. I'm not saying you're the ultimate creator and that there is no ultimate creator. That's not what I'm saying. But in this existence right here, you have the choice. You have free will. You dictate and can co-create. All that's going to happen in your external world is exactly what's happening. It's a mirror of your inner world. That's why we got to work on the inner world. So when we're doing this work together, we need to list the beliefs that as they come up, and any related feelings and imagery, and even down to the ages, right? That happened, and who said this, and all these kinds of things. And you want to trace the origin back so that we can then bring it forward and understand what the ongoing impact is. And then we go through the same process of releasing the belief because it doesn't serve us anymore. And we thank it for its help. We thank it for, you always want to acknowledge it because it's been a part of you. But you don't need it anymore. So why are we carrying it around? It doesn't even really belong to you anyway, usually. And then now we write the new belief that we choose instead. This, by the way, this new life, I want you to write this down and I want you to put it on a mirror or somewhere where you're going to see it first thing in the morning. Okay, so write it. If it needs to be 2 post-it notes or whatever, or a piece of paper that you need to tape to your mirror, I don't know what you need to do, but you need to write it somewhere you're going to see it. In the mirror is the best place. So I want you to write your new life. When we're done, write the new life, and then I want you to put it up. All right? We really don't have but a couple, 3 more slides. This is called building a growth mindset. And when you have a growth mindset, it breeds resilience. Why? Because you know you can get through, pass, over, and conquer anything. A growth mindset is the opposite of a death mindset. A growth mindset is the opposite of I'm only limited. A growth mindset is not limited. It is an unlimited mindset. That's the difference. The growth mindset is an unlimited mindset. The growth mindset can create anything. Limiting beliefs keep you limited in your cage. When you have a growth mindset, it opens up space for authentic strength and authentic service. So you're not serving out of a place of fear and of lack, or if I don't do, then somehow I'm going to get in trouble, or if I don't please these people, somehow something's going to go, hey, do you understand what I'm saying? It's a different situation. This is from an authentic place of strength and power and truth and autonomy. This does not change overnight. It changes little by little by little. And sometimes you're going to make big leaps and bounds like we did today. But you're going to notice you're going to have an opportunity to put this to work. And it's little wins. And don't fall into guilt and shame if you start falling into old patterns of thinking. The rewiring process, listen, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was his pathway. Now we're going to be able to restructure, rewire the pathway faster than it got wired. But it typically doesn't happen overnight. Typically doesn't happen overnight. Celebrate your wins. And then we want you to keep up the momentum. Okay? We want you to set realistic goals and set little victories. So this new life, what we also want you to do is begin to kind of, okay, well, what would it take for me to get to there from where I am? And let me tell you something. If you have no idea, you know what you can do? Go to ChatGPT and say, this is my new identity. Lay out a daily plan for me to get there from where I am right now. What are the daily habits? That's a starting place. That's as good of a starting place as any. And then you keep coming to places like this, right? Where you work with people like me, or whatever the case is, but you keep at it every day. You want to surround yourself with supportive voices. Beloved, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to remove the family from the constant in your ear. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is remove the friends from the constant in your ear. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is restructure who's around you in order for your own growth and sanity. But that's exactly what you need to do. You need to surround yourself with supportive voices that are going to be right here with you, that are going to continue to say, we see it, we believe it, we hold space for it. And then last but certainly not least, you want to practice this process weekly. Let your brain continue to evolve. Keep reading. Keep reading books that are going to be helpful. Keep meditating, keep learning, keep continue to really walk out. How does that person, how does this new identity, how do they live? How do they walk? How do they talk? How do they live? How do they think? How do they speak? I guarantee you they're probably not going to think, talk, speak, walk, or anything like you do right now. Oops. They're going to be a higher, evolved, elevated individual. And you need to walk with that higher, elevated energy. All right. I only wanted to be on here about an hour, and I apologize for the distractions. I appreciate you all. If that helped, leave me some comments, whether you're on X or whether you're on YouTube. Leave me some comments below. Leave me a like. There is, as you see it scrolling across the screen, you can go on and book book a consultation with me. Also, if you are already knowing that you wish to start a coaching or educational and transformational business, you can also, if you're ready to clarify your niche and your offer, go visit niche.aicoachbuild.com. Oh, not that one. This one. If you want to build your business, I'm literally building an entire program in order to do that, and I'll have a sneak peek of that hopefully tomorrow. Go to aicoachbuild.com. Virtual session, 2 days, build your business start to finish, niche, offer, branding, landing page, funnel, lead magnet, and the VIPs are also going to get their social media messaging done as well with their templates, as well as, oh my gosh, I can't even begin to tell you how many, probably 150 at least, various prompts that are going to help you. So we're going to be using AI as well as myself. I'll be right there in the room with you to assist you, whether it be virtually or in person in New York City. Go to aicoachbuild.com. That's aicoachbuild.com. And join me on this journey, right? Like, let's change the world together, shall we? All right, guys. I am going to let y'all up and out of here, okay? And we will see you tomorrow night. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Thank you so much for your likes, the subscribes. Namaste. We'll see you soon. Take care. And I want to know about your new identity. Let me know who that identity is down in the comments. We'll see you soon.